Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, where today we're going to be working on more Village High Rank, because I still have more Village High Rank to do. So let's go have ourselves a meal. And we've got Sonics and Frogs because we still have several fish left in Village High Rank. Because Freedom Unite just loves its Plesioth quests. Just checking. Okay, still no Elder Dragons there. We do have Lunastra here. It might be worth doing her before the Plesioths. Specifically because Elder Dragon quests cycle. So yeah, let's go ahead and do her. Forgot whether it was Desert Day or Night. Desert Night. Though it's also Lunastra, so... Actually, no. Cool drinks for Lunastra are just in World, aren't they? Yeah, I think so. So, let's go hunt this lady. I don't know that it's faster going through the base camp to get to where she is, but it'll at least feel slightly faster because I won't have to travel across two, well, I guess I have to travel halfway across two massive deserts, but where are you going, lady? Okay, she's going to the southern desert. Which actually makes this path faster than it was going to be. That was a case of Rise muscle memory kicking in. Just yelled out a sparkly. Wrong button. That was a long flamethrower. Shame I had to get hit before she got knocked down there. Hey, Kratos. Hey, Noel. Yeah, it's interesting how when delays before monster attacks are changed, it can make the monster suddenly much more difficult to handle. Personally, I've never struggled more with Lunastra than Teo in Freedom Unite, but, like, it's a concept they explored again with hyper monsters in GU, and it can definitely throw me off there. Cool, only one hit. Oh, please. Be my guest. Do all the yellows you want. Ow. Almost got clear. Thanks, Cat. Didn't intend to do the spin, was trying to do the level 2 charge, but I charged too much too fast. Yeah, I also enjoy getting to knock Elder Dragons over just by whacking their heads over and over again. Especially as a hammer user. Though, admittedly, it makes for a somewhat less exciting hunt. Hey, Wolfkinson. Nice. This poor lady. Yeah, I would leave too after that. Is she actually going in there, or is she going to the other desert? She's going to the other desert, okay. Lunastra, you could do yellow powder all day long, and I would thank you for it. Maybe a little less so when you're doing it with your tail, but still. Luna, there's no one back there. Well, that wasn't the best use of a knockdown, but it worked. Dang, missed the golf swing. Again, Luna, there's no one back there. The dilemma of only being able to do no turn or all of the turn. Such a problem. Oh no. Of course I get hit by an attack I'm making fun of immediately after making fun of it. Okay. So is she going inside or to the southern desert? We'll find out momentarily. Southern desert, okay. Yeah, it is very nice how much more easily a hammer can get KOs in games prior to Rise. KO tolerances in Rise are just enormous. And it's kind of unfortunate. Like, I get why they do it. They want the monsters to be more active, and just having one hammer able to shut down a monster that much really makes the game a lot easier. Like, Rise doesn't need monster KO tolerances to be lower. It's easy enough without it. It just makes it feel like Hammer is missing a good portion of what made it special before. Not that it doesn't have anything in its place, but... like, back in ye olden days, Greatsword was the high damage cut machine, and Hammer was the high damage KO machine. Shame I can't break her horns because I don't have dragon damage. That's one thing I'm glad they got rid of in later entries. Type mandated part breaks. In fact, I'm pretty sure the last one they did... well, actually, there's... as far as I'm aware, there's exactly one element required part break they did after this game. Because Gen 3 didn't have any. But specifically in 4U, Chameleos' tail required fire damage, as far as I can tell. Because if you brought in a fire weapon, the tail popped off, like, immediately. And if you didn't bring a fire weapon, it might never pop off or whatever. Like, it... or maybe... honestly, it's hard to say. I think it was something to do with fire. It might have just been that, for whatever reason, Guild Quest Chameleos' tails had basically no HP. They popped off instantly. And... other Chameleos quests, the tail just had a super high break tolerance. But I think it was actually fire damage and not just Guild Quest versus not Guild Quest. I think. But if it was fire damage, then that means that Chameleos' tail in specifically 4U, not GU, 4U, would be the only post-Freedom Unite element break. Wow, that was about the worst knockdown I could have gotten without missing everything. I don't feel like I should have gotten hit by that, but Freedom Unite hitbox is going to hitbox. Really hoping I'd get the knockdown. I was fishing there. I might have been close to actually getting it, too. Given the time and how many times this lady's been knocked on the floor, I can't imagine she's far from death. As soon as I see her start to turn, I should really just roll the other way. No powder on that one. Wonder what determines whether her tail sweeps get powder or not. Is it rage? Or is it something else? I mean, I'd guess it's probably rage, but... And away she goes. Again to the other desert. She better not be stopping in there. Okay, good. Going to the other desert's a hassle, but going in there from the southern desert takes even longer. Ooh, good flinch. There we go. Oh boy, a fire Durgan Skull plus. So, Fire Dragon Claw. We got the full fire, we got the full dragon, we got the full claw. If it was Fire Dragon Skull Plus, it would be the same number of characters as Fire Dragon Claw. And it would only have one word abbreviated. Why did they not just write out dragon? Or why did they not just write out scale? Both of those would have been just 2 extra letters, but instead we got both abbreviated when we have the space to leave one of them unabbreviated? I don't get it. What makes them decide what words and how many to abbreviate? And we've got Fire Dragon Putter. So yeah, we should really have Fire Dragon Skull Plus instead of Fire Durgan Skull Plus. Just for consistency. My smallest Luna. Good honey day. Always nice when I get melange ore. Okay, let's see what quest we do this time. Any Elder Dragons here? Nope. Did they just put all the Elder Dragons in 8-star? I feel like I should have seen a Teostra in 9-star by now, but... Oh well, looks like we get to do a fish quest. We were just in the desert, so I guess we'll do Kezu and Green Plesioth in the old jungle. Disgusting. Just a revolting quest. But it's hunt all large monsters, which means I can use Mega Potions with impunity. But for reals, there is not a single part of this quest that I appreciate. I hate the old jungle, I hate Kezu, and I loathe Plesioth. And now the small monsters are dealt with. Nice. Well, at least the Kezu went quick. Wasting some Mega Potions, though. I don't know whether or not carving the extra Mega Potions gets me more rewards at the end. I doubt it, but I wouldn't put it past them, because they do say that, oh, your things that you carve get replaced by Mega Potions, but you'll get them in the rewards. I don't think there's actually a system for that. Like, oh, did you carve it at least 3 times? But just in case, gotta carve the extra Mega Potions, even if I can't use them. I don't know whether the fish will spawn in here or in the other area, but in case it's here, I'll just hang out here by this fishing spot. And I chose wrong. Here, fishy, fishy. Aziath is so bad at trying to actually get frogs. Every game later than this, it'll come straight for the frogs if they're in the water. But this game has to faff about until it's in the right spot and then apparently grab the frog from literally the other side of the river. How did it do that? Ow. I'm sorry, what? Why did I gather an antidote herb instead of the sparkly? Game, I want the sparkly. I know it's just a mega potion, but... Yes, keep spinning. Spin forever. Spin forever. Lasers forever is also acceptable. Hip checks forever is not acceptable. Looks like this fish is almost gone. And there we go. I don't know why I'm bothering to drink that. I guess it just feels better when I actually gather the mega potions instead of having them be over my limit. It gave us such thick fog. Also that the game could run better. Like, sure, it creates atmosphere and whatnot, but it also makes all background elements completely invisible. So they don't even have to have them there, which saves on processing power. Video games have come a long way. That was a big fish. Yeah, Wolfkinson, using fog to hide asset culling in distant areas is one of the oldest tricks in the 3D gaming book. You see it all the time in older 3D games, like, well, in this game, you see it. You see it in, like, Silent Hill 2, the original release. A big part of why it was so foggy was, like, yeah, they did it to do atmosphere, but it also hid a lot of asset culling. You see it a bit in games like Ocarina of Time. I think there was some in Mario 64. And if you play F-Zero GX in 4-player, they even use it there. They use it in multiplayer in Phantasy Star Online when you're playing that in multi on a single system. Just whenever a game system had to render the same scene multiple times in multiplayer, especially on the lower powered systems, they would often introduce more and more fog so that they could do more and more asset culling to keep frame rates up while rendering the same scene multiple times. It's actually a pretty interesting thing. And still, Kieran is the only Elder Dragon we've seen in 9-star. Oh, hey, look, it's different Lunastra. I guess we're doing different Lunastra. I do like when monsters have quests that cycle between different locales. But it's better when the monsters always got at least one quest available. And it's better still... Is she actually coming in here, or is she crossing over? It's better still when you do it like Rise did it. And make it so that the monsters' quests all count as completed when you complete the first one. This Lunastra seems bigger than the last one. Well, you'll notice that Freedom Unite actually doesn't make heavy use of fog and has a lot of areas that don't use it at all. But in the jungles and other areas with lots of foliage and other stuff, especially the older maps, it uses it more because, well, the fog was originally added to those older maps so that they could run on PSP before they did any real system optimization or anything. Like, in basically any game franchise, later entries will have higher graphical fidelity than earlier ones. And that's just as true in Monster Hunter. Even when later entries are on the same system, they learn how to utilize the system better, get more performance out of it. Lady, get down. So, like, maps from older Monster Hunter games will use more fog, because that was basically what they did to make sure that frame rates stayed up back then. And, like, the old jungle especially had foliage everywhere. And the PSP and PS2, as the case may be, had to render all of that, which left them with fewer polygons to use for background. So, yeah. We get fog in the jungle so that we can have the foliage that we clearly crave when we are hunting monsters in the jungle and really wish that we saw less of them. And then, like, the old swamp doesn't have as much foliage as the jungle, but it has a lot of maps, or a lot of areas where they have to render the environment twice because they're doing their little pseudo-reflection in the big pools of water in that marsh. So we get the fog again, but they have the excuse, hey, it's a swamp, it's gonna be all misty and foggy. You're not gonna have perfect clarity. It's a swamp. Incidentally, they actually use a fairly similar technique in Monster Hunter Tri and 3U for underwater sections in areas where the actual playable area doesn't contain all of the underwater space. Like in the flooded forest, there's some areas where you're not completely contained, but the water is... it's murky and you can't see past a certain distance. Like, it didn't have to be that murky. And in fact, the more open the water is, the less likely it would be to actually be murky in universe, because, well, there's more space for all that murk to diffuse. And then in, like, the ocean, everything just goes to blue. That's an example of using fog so that they don't have to render more stuff and can keep performance up. Wish I wasn't right up against this wall. This is an awful place for a knockdown. Yeah, that positioning just cheated me out of several hits. Get out of the air, lady. Oh, you're leaving? Are you leaving? Yes, you're leaving. Going all the way to the southwest. Yep. Yeah, like here in the volcano, they can afford to have geometry for all the walls and ceiling, and they use a matte painting for the background there. It looks like a couple layers of matte paintings, actually. But they can afford to do that because there's no vegetation here that needs to be rendered. It's just stark polygons all the way through. So we've got a nice big open area with no fog, despite the fact that they could really say, hey, you're in a volcano. Wow, I hit with none of those. You're in a volcano, the lava is producing all sorts of steam and gases, because lava does that. But yeah, the only fog we get is a little bit. Light fog above where the magma is falling there. Like, there's no fog obscuring the stuff in the distance. At least no significant fog, because they don't need it. Though, honestly, it probably would have added to the look, but in that case, with the fog not hiding any culling, it probably would have added to the processing requirement. So, no fog to help the game run better, I guess. Whereas if this was made for PC in the modern day, this place would probably have volumetrics out the wazoo. We'd probably have all sorts of sparks floating through the air, with physics simulation going on to determine how the wind moves them. Lunastra. No, Cat, don't you dare. Cat, get the hell over here. Cool. Now she's going to hang out in that lava whenever she decides to go for my cat. Yes, cat, please. Please, thank you. I hate that they let cats go in the lava. It is literally the worst part about having cats in this game. Because if the cat goes in the lava to chase down a monster, then the monster is going to stay in the lava until it decides not to target the cat. And guess what? If the monster comes out of the lava to come for you, your cat's not going to get out of the lava that fast. So the monster could end up just rushing right back into the stupid lava. Thankfully, they trained cats better by GU, and cats no longer chased monsters into the lava in this very map in that game. Luna, get out of the lava. Cat, don't you dare. Luna, get out of the air, please. Please. Thank you. The last Luna, like, didn't fly at all. This one, she just loves hopping in the air and staying there for a good while. I am glad that paid off. Would be nicer if I didn't have to burn my feet to take advantage of this. So noisy. Why did only the second one have wind pressure? I expected that to be closer in. And that's a cart. Well, she was definitely having a fun time taunting over there. I don't know why. I have a lot... I have a much easier time super pounding her face when I'm on its right side after a flamethrower than when I'm on its left. Not the right time to sharpen. I love how she didn't actually make contact with me at all there. Pretty sure I have seen her jump over me before when I was standing tall. A crouch down to sharpen? No way. Can't let that happen. I hate missing with the golf swing. I hate missing with the golf swing. I hate missing with the golf swing. Get out of the lava. I hate missing with the golf swing. I love hitting with the golf swing. She's probably going back up to the area we were in last. Or not. Is she going to the donut? She's probably going to the donut. Unless she turns. Okay, yeah, that's 100% donut. It's unfortunate because there's lava for her to run into. I hate missing with the golf swing. So pouncy. was angled way too far to the side. If I missed with the golf swing there, I would have raged. I hate missing with golf swing. I hate missing with everything but the golf swing too, but to a lesser degree. Not the move I intended to do, but it worked out. I am so glad she has such a long little wind-up before her pounces. In Astra, there was nobody back there. Okay, thank you for getting out of the air immediately. Can't let a yellow go to waste. I'm just not good at nailing the super pounds on the face from that side of the head. Hope I'll be able to actually bring this one down instead of repelling her. We're getting kind of close to the effective time limit. So, how, pray tell, was that golf swing not on the face? Also, how did I avoid that roar? Well then. I guess I don't gotta worry about repelling her. Wow, we got nothing but unabbreviated items. Sure, there were some spaces missing, but no abbreviations. That's a lot of carapaces. And she was a big girl. Not a crown big girl, but a big girl. I wonder when I planted this stuff. Okay, do we have more fish on the menu? We sure do. With a side of monoblos, but still fish. But it's the last fish in this rank. I wish it didn't have to have that qualifier at the end, though. I think it might also be my last village fish. Is the fish coming in here? Yeah, the fish is coming in here. And this crab's here to ruin everything. Thankfully, the fish did not spot me. Here, fishy, fishy. Yeah, that's right. There's a frog. It's right here. You can grab it. It's yours if you want it. Fish, you're going the wrong way. Yeah. It definitely does exacerbate a monster's badness when it's allowed to be bad in so many damn quests. Because, like, in this tier alone, there are generally 18 to 20 quests available at any given time. 4 of them feature Plesioth. 1 of them features 2. Which is just an unforgivably high number. That's some fast supplies. And that was a fast fish. I believe this is a Mega Potion quest. Yes, it is. Okay. So that means I need to drink one. Part of me wants to go to base camp for the free Sonics that'll be in the box. But the other part of me realizes that it's a very long trip from here. Like, I could go that way, but that'd be a long trek over to that load zone, then another load zone, then another long trek to a third load zone to get to base. I could go this way, have a slightly shorter trek to that load zone, then another load zone, then a decently long trek to a third load zone. Like, I guess I'll do it. Well, never mind. This Monoblos is already here. I'm not leaving. Get out of there. Yeah, that's what you get for trying to do it, Apsaros. You shouldn't have even thought about it. So noisy. Okay. It went that way to get to the desert that is that way. Freedom Unite's weird. This is a great excuse to drop by the base camp and grab those Sonics. I guess we don't get Sonics, we just get a free Psycho Serum. That is decidedly less exciting. Considering there's both Plesioth and Monoblos in this quest, I really expected Sonics. There we go. And now we get to keep actually 3 of the Mega Potions we carve. I do miss Monoblos. Monoblos was a good fight in 4U. I liked how they differentiated it from Diablos. Until 4U's Apex Diablos came in and stole animations from White Monoblos. They actually fed the Monobloses in 4U. Such a cool-looking monster in that game. I like it. It's better than Diablos, in my opinion. But oh well. Probably gonna be a while before we see another Monoblos. Well, the fact that I only got 2 Monoblos parts from that quest tells me that they absolutely do not take a look at how many carves you take from a certain monster in these quests. And they just give you quest rewards. I could put away the frog and the Sonics. Because we don't have any fish left. Oh, defense high. Still no new Elder Dragons here. Well, there's something. I guess we are doing an Ash Lao. I'm bringing things for him. Is that all I need? Paintballs to detonate the bombs. Or I could just bring bombs to detonate the bombs. That would be a thing. So let's see. For the large bombs that we're bringing, we have 5 large plus total. Which means we need 3 smalls for that, plus 1 more for the larges that they will give us in the quest. And we've seen it before, but we might as well watch this again. Oh no, it is a boring monster. What will we do? I hope we can manage to drive away this threat. That is not at all a threat. I mean, I guess it's a threat to structures and stuff, but it doesn't feel like a threat. They definitely could have done something to make it feel like a threat. In this game and in GU. Just... it saddens me so much that they deliberately didn't do much to change Lao in GU so that it would be more like people remembered. Like, just that fact is disappointing as all hell. They had a chance to make Lao an interesting monster. They had a real chance. But instead, they kept it a super boring monster and just gave it a more interesting environment to be hunted in by giving us the rail cannon, which is fun to use. I will say that. It is very fun to use the rail cannon, but I'd rather have it be fun to actually hit the monster with my weapon. Hey, dead bird. Like, they had already done giant monster quests right by the time they brought back Lao and GU. We had gotten the Morans. All 3 of them are fun fights. They are fun hunts. Because you're actually, like, hopping on them and going for specific targets and doing stuff with your weapons while also balancing that with using the ship's defenses to protect the ship. Those are very, very good hunts, and easily the best examples of massive monster hunts in the franchise. And then Dalamador. It's not the best supermassive monster hunt in the franchise, but I still like it. It's pretty good. Like, that's a way to handle hunting an extremely large monster that, sure, it's not moving around a whole lot, but it at least, you know, does things to attack hunters and makes you at least consider positioning. Like, you have to care about where in the environment you're standing at any given time, and that's at least somewhat interesting. And then you get to climb up it for a real neat bit where you jump on its head and get to carve it or bomb it. That's cool. Gogmazios is a very large monster. Not quite as big as Lao, but still very large, and it's a really, really fun hunt. I love it. And then we get Lao, who's just Lao. Just Lao. I agree, Wolfkinson. Lao does need to learn how to attack. Like, GU, they at least made it attack more structures that hunters are using, which makes it feel like it's at least kind of caring about what hunters are doing. Like, if you're on one of the little ballista installations on its path, it will break the ballista installation. But if nobody's on it, it'll just leave it alone. That at least makes it feel like it cares it's being attacked. But that's all it does. It does that, and it tries to bite hunters who are on bridges. While it's walking, it will do nothing to even inconvenience a hunter, which is just boring. Yeah, this kid needs to learn how to stand up for himself. Did I already get both face breaks or just one? Might as well just keep hitting the face until it flinches one more time. There we go. Yeah, this guy, he's really big, he's got a soft belly, and I hang out at said belly, smacking it real hard with my hammer, and he flinches every once in a while and is like, oh, ouch, someone's hitting my belly. But he doesn't change how he acts. He flinches and then goes right back to walking. He does not care at all about me continuing to hit his belly. And that just, it feels wrong. Monster Hunter, I believe, is at its best when the monsters feel like they are actual animals that are reacting in ways that you would expect these animals to react to things. Like, is someone hitting this animal a lot? Well, it's going to try to either run away or kill the someone. Is this animal just chilling out in its natural habitat, going to find itself a meal or something? Well, it's probably not going to really care too much about someone hanging out nearby as long as they're not being a threat. World got it right. World got it very, very right. Freedom Unite got it very, very, very wrong, especially with Lao. Okay, I need to hop up that ramp. Damn tail. Ooh. This is good. This means I get to skip him standing up to bite the bridge. Provided I can actually get onto a carvable part. Nope. It was too late. Because of that stupid tail. Thankfully, I will have other chances, but just the one. Not for a while. Yep, Lao is indeed the opposite of most monsters who attack on sight, because Lao attacks on never unless you are on a bridge. Lao has a particular hatred for creatures that are on bridges, but anywhere else, you get ignored. Wow, the foot got me. Sure is interesting how the music just comes to a dead stop. Actually, before I pop in there. It is astonishing how little damage him falling on you during a flinch does, considering how big he is. And, like, that's him falling on you with his whole body. Whereas if he just steps on you, it does way more damage. And yeah, his tail also does way more damage than him falling on you. It's very awkward. And this remains one of exactly 2 fights in the game that makes me want to mod an HP bar into the game. Because at least then I could see when to stop attacking him during his walk up to the final area. Because every time I think, okay, I'll just not attack him anymore, I end up doing not enough damage, and by the time he gets to the final area, I basically just barely time out. I don't know whether it's because I stopped attacking too early or what. There's no way to find out. Damn tail. It's the most dangerous part of him. Feels like he is surprisingly close to the left wall. Or the wall to my left. Yeah, he's like on that little slope. Seems he's experiencing a little drift. Not quite as bad as the Morans do when you're playing online, but... It's always interesting when you're fighting a gen and it gets so off course that it's like nowhere near centered. It's far enough away from the Dragonator that the Dragonator cannot possibly hit it. And because there's no boat getting in its way and stopping its forward movement, it gets so far forward that its left hand is just in the middle of the boat. It's very silly. Okay, he's standing up, which means we don't get to skip that, but it also means that we are not going to miss jumping on him. That bite hit me? It wasn't even on screen at any point. I have been bitten somehow. Like the bite, it doesn't even reach the bridge until here, and it like goes off to this side. I was over there on the ladder. How in the world did that hit me? That hitbox is worse than Plesioth's. Sure wish it was possible to actually get off this bastard before the bomb exploded. I mean, yeah, it's possible that it was just like a shockwave sent through the bridge and its ladder and whatnot. But I did take some damage. It's not like I got through that scot-free. I got knocked off the ladder and lost a little chunk of health. Maybe it would have hurt more if the bite hit me directly, but still, the bite attack somehow caused damage to me while I was on the ladder, nowhere near the mouth. No one cares about you, Ioprey. You have no reason to be here, other than just making it slightly more annoying to use cannons. All right, Lau's got his proof of a hero playing. He heroically made it all the way here. Made it through all the adversity. And finally, his goal is within sight. So proof of a hero plays, proving that Lau is the hero. say what you will about Proof of a Hero playing during the Ibushi fight in Monster Hunter Rise. This right here is the worst use of Proof of a Hero in the franchise. Deadbird, I never played Monster Hunter 1, but if memory serves, the final offline boss was Monoblos, and the final online boss was Fatalis. Now to make the long, long climb up to the Dragonator. Can we reach it before he reaches the wall? The answer is no. That did damage to me. That did damage to me. Is he going to kill me? He very much could have if he didn't stop. Oh, I saw the little blood splatter. Didn't even get a flinch. Deadbird, a Farcaster would 100% be faster than the ladders. The problem is I do not have one. I think that was the most danger I've, like, ever been in on Allow Quest in this file. I have in the past carded to Allow's tail, but, like... yeah. Also, he's dead. Will his face be carvable? Is he far enough from the wall? Ooh, yeah. Maybe. No. Nope. No face carves for me. It's inside the wall. Ooh, nice ruby. It's amazing how easy it is to just completely lose access to 3 of the carves. Like, it's one thing to not be able to get them in time. It's another thing to just not be able to even try to get them because the face is in the wall. Like, he's got to be real far away from the wall for that to not happen. And that's just 3 carves gone. And that is exactly why GU dropped it down to 2 carve zones, upper body and lower body. They removed the head carve zone and made each of the 2 remaining carve zones be 4 carves. So sure, you lose out on 1 carve overall, but you'll never be cheated out of 3 carves. And unless you were really efficient in this game, you were never going to get all 8 or all 9 carves to begin with, so it's possible to be that efficient. Dire Miralis actually proves that, because Dire Miralis had the same number of carves in the same places, and it was very possible to get all 9 of those. But yeah, it's just, it's a thing. Yeah, it would be easy to get all 9 carves if Lao wasn't a drama queen. See, I would have expected the Lao to be the key required to unlock a bunch of Elder Dragons in 9-star, but apparently not. And it looks like we get to deal with Remobras now. Hello, Iodrome. I guess the Iodrome's here to give us a permanent corpse for the Remobras to feed on. Yeah, that theme was a little bit too intense for an Iodrome. Sure do love getting only Io Prey scales from an Iodrome. That's just a great use of my time and effort. Did Remobras not feed on corpses in this game yet? Is that a 4th gen edition? Dead Bird, it has always been possible to see Hypnocatrix and Lavasioth in the main series because those two were not developed specifically for Frontier. As for other Frontier monsters, I highly doubt we'll see them. I think at best we'll just see monsters with similar concepts that are more designed specifically for the main series. Like, we've already seen a handful of Frontier concepts repurposed for main series monsters. So, yeah, I think we'll just keep getting more things like that happening rather than getting actual Frontier monsters in. But Hypnoc and Lavasioth can always return because they were developed for the main series. Like, they just appeared in Frontier first. Maybe I should have left Aerodrome up. Then we'd at least have some music going right now. Instead of the sounds of wind and snakes. I know I can use my Sonics to get these things down. But that would just be a huge waste of Sonics. Looked like it took this one a little while to realize it was actually dead. Well, I suppose that's no different from in Gen 3 or 5. Or, no, not 5. Gen 3 or 4. Killing an Alatreon while it's flying. Falls down to the ground, stands up, and then does its death animation, which is always hilarious. I wonder if this will end up being the last Village 8-star quest. It's possible there's going to be another rotating one that we haven't gotten yet, but I hope there isn't. If there is, it's probably Kushala. I don't know where my cat found those mega potions, but hey, thanks. Okay, yeah, that's the last 8-star quest. Which means time to move on to 9-star. Hello, True Armor Sphere. That was a good result right there. I'll ignore the farm for a while. There's one specific reason I'm even using it to begin with. And I need to actually check whether or not I've already done enough. So first up, we'll come here and go to improve armor. And I can't further improve anything, so never mind. So let's go to create weapon. And then make a popcorn. And then improve. Okay, well, looks like I've got all the corn I need. At least there's that. Cannot improve it until Yamatsukami, which is surprisingly far away from when you can make the thing to begin with. Like, yep, just needs an Inferno Sack. That's high-rank Rathalos. Or any other high-rank fire monster, honestly. Like Gravios. And then goes straight from there to Yamatsukami? In very late G rank? Feline Ballooner, such a useful skill when you have Auto Tracker. Guarantees the Dragon Seer shows up so that you can use it for a Psycho Serum effect. And still, Kieran is the only Elder Dragon we're seeing here. Where's all the Teos hiding? Well, let's see what we want to do here. So we've got Rathalos. We've got Rathian. We've got both Wrath subs. We've got Demon King Diablos. Which, that'll be a hell of a quest. Double Black Diablos. Gravios. Double Black Gravios. Blangonga Tigrex, Gravios Shogun Cenatar. Wow, they like Gravios as much as they like Plesioth, that's for sure. Cuckoo Hypnoc Garuga, Monoblos Daimyo Rathian. Okay. Well, I guess we've got more Gravios than anything else, so I should probably start with a quest that involves at least one of them. So here we go. Yeah, Deadbird, there are definitely SNS that turn into dual blades. There's hammers that turn into hunting horns. All the trees are interconnected like that. Like, the transformations only ever go one way. Like, you'll never see dual blades turn back into sword and shield. You'll never see a hunting horn turn back into a hammer. But all weapons, or at least all the melee weapons, are paired like that. So, some of them start as one and then go to another. But that's honestly, I think, mostly just a relic of how they added weapon types in Gen 2. So, like, there were no long swords in Gen 1, so some great swords had to turn into long swords for them to be able to fill out the trees. And there were no dual blades in Gen 1, so some S&S had to turn into dual blades. No hunting horn in Gen 1, so some hammers had to turn into hunting horns. No gun lances in Gen 1, so some lances had to turn into gun lances. I don't know if any bow guns turn into bows. I don't think they do, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it's just a relic from that. But in terms of progressing like the same weapon from monster to monster, some of them have surprisingly long gaps in usability. Fun fact, in Monster Hunter 4U, Gravios was, or Black Gravios, was my least favorite monster to fight in G rank. In this game, it's not nearly as bad. It's just a mountain of HP. I shouldn't be in here now. I'm gonna get hit by that a lot because I'm very greedy. Gravios, get the hell out of the load zone. Thank you. See, if this was for you, he'd be shooting a little laser beam with every step there. And doing a little fire poop between every laser beam. And it was the worst. That's why I hated Black Gravios in that game. Thank you, Flinch. Did its pecs just bite me? I was under its chest and its bite hit me. It's actually kind of silly. The fire poots that come following a laser do more damage than just the fire gas that it can do on its own. You know, the fire gas that has a much longer wind-up and looks like it should do way more damage because of it somehow does less damage than the fire poot following a laser. Also, having both of these things in here at the same time is not good for business. Yeah, that did basically nothing. That fire poot by itself. The fire poots following the lasers do like 4 times as much damage. It's incredible. It's actually really interesting how my opinion on Gravios has changed over the years. When I first played Freedom Unite, having only played Try before that, and just wanting any new Monster Hunter game so that I could hunt more monsters, I grabbed Freedom Unite. Actually grabbed a PSP specifically to grab Freedom Unite, which, yeah, that's a thing. But grabbed Freedom Unite, and of all the new-to-me monsters I was fighting, at first, Gravios was my favorite. I thought it looked really cool. I liked how big it was. But then I started fighting more of them and realized the fight is not exciting. And they just have a mountain of HP to work through, and yeah. The rest was history. Like, aesthetically, I do like Gravios. It's a cool-looking monster. Just in terms of actually playing the game, I do not like Gravios. Though, admittedly, standard Gravios in 4U is pretty okay. The rare flying Gravios. Why would they let Gravios be in this area? Yeah, standard Gravios is fine because it doesn't have the same annoying fire poots after basically everything that Black Gravios did. And also, 4th gen Gravios, you could knock it over a lot more easily, and when you knocked it over, it didn't roll over you doing a bunch of damage. Like you actually had a knockdown to take advantage of. My cat's in the stupid lava. Yeah, having more breaks and more access to its back to get the newly added back break that neuters the fire poots makes Gravios a much more interesting monster to fight in Gen 4 than it is here. Surprise, monster more interesting to fight in Gen 4 than in Freedom Unite. I know, but... yeah, regular Gravios in Gen 4, I'm totally cool with. Black Gravios in 4U, especially Frenzied, no thank you. Agnactor is absolutely a better execution of the same style of monster that Gravios is. It's large, it has armor, it shoots lasers. Like, in terms of overall design, and fight design especially, Agnactor and Gravios are very, very similar. And Agnactor is just such a better execution of the concept. Hey, Gravios, you want to maybe come somewhere that I can hit you? I swear, if this map ever returns later in the series, I am going to be very upset. The fact that this map returned in this game is upsetting. This map is so bad. And this isn't even the worst incarnation of it either. But it's still so bad after it was improved. Old Volcano sucks and should go away forever. Ooh, that was a limp. Really hoping to score the kill there. it is. Deadbird, the reason you liked Agnactor better than modern Lavazioth is because Agnactor is better than modern Lavazioth. It's just a straight up fact. Because when Agnactor goes under the ground, like, it's going to pop out before too long. It's going to do more interesting stuff while it's in there. And it has ways of heating itself up that do not involve going underground. Like, you're almost never at a total loss of parts to hit on Agnactor. Whereas Lavazioth, you can be at a loss of parts to hit. And additionally, the cardinal sin that Lavazioth commits is, yes, its parts can be softened, but once you break those parts, they cannot be softened. And when they're broken, they take less damage than they do when they are soft. Breaking Lavazioth's parts makes it harder to do damage to it. And that is the worst possible thing that a monster can have happen. Like, breaking a monster's parts should never, and I mean never, negatively impact the hunt. And yet, for Lavazioth in Gen 5, it does. Especially when you're breaking a part that can be soft or hard. Like, when it's broken, it should just always count as soft. It shouldn't be in some middle zone. And yet, that's exactly what they did. They put it in some middle zone that isn't helpful to anyone. And even the fact that Lavazioth in Gen 5 doesn't soften itself very often is slightly excusable due to the fact that you can soften it yourself by using torch pods with your slinger. And there are always 100% of the time torch pods available in the areas Lavazioth is. There is no area Lavazioth can go to that does not have torch pods available. So, like, it's forgivable that it doesn't soften itself because you can just use the torch pods. But then we get to that other bit where if you break it, it's no longer softenable, and it's worse than just leaving the part unbroken so that you can soften it. It's that one thing, the breaks making it worse, that just makes Lavazioth absolutely awful in Gen 5. If it wasn't for that, it would be acceptable. And if breaks just made it always count as soft, and if it softened itself more often on its own, then it could actually be a downright good fight. But it doesn't do either of those things, and so it's relegated to the trash heap of Monster Hunter World. Which is a shame, because in GU, Lavazioth was the most fun Piscine Wyvern to fight. Bar none. Lavazioth was great in GU. I loved him. He was a great little hot tub fish. I have have almost nothing left to deal with. I haven't been doing very good against these Gravioses. Now I do have nothing left to deal with. So I don't recall whether or not supplies arrived, but if they haven't, I hope they do before I cart. Otherwise, We're gonna have a time. And there's the cart. Man, it's been ages since I've seen this base camp. And oh boy. So step one, actually find my way back to where I just was. And then step two, hope I can kill the Gravios before carting again with no healing supplies. And step three, hope that there are healing supplies before I cart again. Basically, if I do not see a limp before I see the base camp next, I am just going to be waiting in base camp for supplies. I should have brought more healing stuff. I didn't expect a high rank quest to take so much out of me, but Black Gravios can do that. It does decent damage, even though it's high rank and I'm wearing G rank stuff. And there were 2 of them. And also, I am just not used to fighting this particular monster in this particular game, so I see he's leaving. All right, bud, come on out of there. This is not going well. Little steps are tearing my health apart. Oh, come on. So I guess I need to wait for supplies. Or at least try and go gather some herbs or something. Anything is better than no healing. And I don't want to fail this quest when I've already killed 1 Gravios. Well, that's not going to be herbs. It was so nice how the iOS version of Freedom Unite added in markers over your head for when you were at a gatherable location. Like, here we just gotta walk over the plants and start mashing circle and hope that the game decides that that's one of the spots that's gatherable. Well, that's not going to be herbs. Take away the fire part, and this would have made me happy. It looks like this is not going to be regular herbs ever. Only fire herbs. And I doubt there's going to be any herbs up here. Yeah, nope. Is it even possible to... Well, there's our answer. We don't need to gather herbs. Because we are getting, what, 3 first ailments. Hopefully that's enough. Kind of them to give us the large barrel bombs. That's another thing that makes Gravios better in later games. Like, they give us barrel bombs to get through its tough armor, sure. But in later games, you can break his legs, and once they're broken, his legs are soft instead of hard. So, like, yeah. It's just a much better fight in that game. Dang it, why there gotta be so many huskberries and stuff? I need herbs. I guess you just can't get herbs in the volcano. Basically, every map has an infinitely gatherable herb spot. But not here, no. That would be too easy. This map sucks. In every conceivable way. I would have laughed if that killed it. I also would have been very happy. But alas, we don't always get what we want. Oh, hey. Guess I didn't need these after all. But they were good morale support. Gotta love those bulk Gravios Kapuk. And bulk Gravios Shul. He deserved every one of those. Wow, that's a lot of brainstems. And one of them was silver larger. Still not gold large, because that would be too kind. I hate fighting silver larger black Gravios. This is not the first time it's happened to me in a Monster Hunter game. And still no Elder Dragons. So I think it's time for probably the last quest of this stream. And I think double Wraths is a good way to end it. I'm going to go get flashes before I take it, though. That would be smart. Yeah, that ought to do. So, unless I'm mistaken, the Azure Rathlos will be right through here. And there he is. He seems big. Rathian just passing through. Just think, monsters staying down after being flashed as a system was only around between Monster Hunter Tri and Monster Hunter World High Rank. They took it away in Master Rank, in Iceborne, and yet taking it away brought Iceborne more in line with older games in the series. Just an interesting little tidbit. Deadbird, it is an actual thing that Wrath's Roars make others come to the same zone starting in Gen 3. In this game, they don't give... they don't care about each other at all. And there are some Wraths, even in Gen 3 and beyond, that just don't call each other. Iceborne actually gave them a different sounding roar for when they're calling one another. So their standard roars would no longer call each other. They had to use the special roar. But in Gen 3 and Gen 4, one Wrath roaring would in fact call its partner. And if memory serves, in Gen 4, it actually had to be like a match for whether they were standard or subspecies or rare. So like in Gen 4, a regular Rathalos couldn't call a pink Rathian, but an Azure Rathalos could. Well, this quest is basically won already. Okay, never mind. That's right. Rathian's got, like, a surprising amount more HP than Rathalos. Oh, there we go. That was short enough. I can do another one. I always forget just how squishy Wrath faces are. Great time on the health horn there, Cat. I think my next quest is going to have to be a single monster quest and not an Elder Dragon. So if there's an Elder Dragon that shows up, I might just call it anyway so that I have that available for next time and don't have to wait for it to cycle. But otherwise, I'll just do a something. And she was a big lady. But he was not a big guy. At least not big enough to be worth pointing out. I still miss how specifically Gen 3, they pointed out what size a monster was every single time you hunted it. It was fun to see how the size of the monster that you just hunted matched up to the sizes of ones you had hunted before. Even if it wasn't a new record, large or small. Like, sometimes it's fun seeing, wow, that one was exactly average. Or, wow, that one was kind of small, but not as small as it gets. But in games outside of Gen 3, unfortunately, all games outside of Gen 3, it's just, oh, was it not a record? Well, you just don't get to learn how big it was. And that just makes me sad. All right, let's go see what quests are available before we eat. All right, still no elder dragons. This is a single monster quest, but it is absolutely not the one I'm doing because that Diablos is going to have a lot of HP. I guess my only real options then are Rathalos or Rathian. Because I've done all the other single monster quests other than the Demon King. And... oh, wait, this is just a Gravios. But I don't want to do another Gravios. So I'm going to go ahead and elect to not. And yeah, I'll just do the Rathalos. No, I won't. That's in the old volcano. I hate the old volcano. I'll do the Rathian. I should eat, though. Yeah, I gotta say, almost everything Gen 3 did to change how information is presented to the player was good. Gen 3 made a lot of critical and quality changes. And a handful of them got walked back, and it makes me sad. Also, everyone nowadays arguing back and forth about whether it's better to have charms or decorations be acquired randomly post-quest. When back in Freedom Unite, there were no charms and decorations were not random. We could live in a world where there was no randomness in any of the armor we got other than what parts dropped to make them with. That said, this game is very, very stingy with those parts. So, yeah, it's the worst of both worlds, I guess. And now to hope again, Prey doesn't ruin this for me. That one was thinking about it, but then decided against it. I appreciate that. So this one made it so that my golf swing only hit him instead of the Rathian, and that makes me sad. That's kind of weird to realize that decorations were only added to the series in Gen 2, and charms were only added to the series in Gen 3. Like, they both are such staple and natural-feeling parts of the game now. But they were not there from the beginning. I need to stop falling for that. Especially when I have no antidotes. Well, I might cart because of that Genpray. Nah, we're good. Honestly, Deadbird, I think I prefer... Thanks, Genpray. I think I prefer how Gen 3 handled charms. Specifically because there's instant gratification post-quest. It's not... You complete the quest, and then you take the parts you got and put them into the melding pot, and then see what your charm is. It's... You complete the quest, you get the charms, and then you see what the charm is immediately. There's no extra step, no extra quest involved. You just complete the quest, you get some charms, and then you identify them and you see what they are as part of the quest reward screen. I like that. It's instant gratification. And I will always take instant gratification over, hey, put these things in a jar and wait a quest. Though in terms of the amount of charms you get per quest, Rise actually does have a superior thing going on. But just in terms of how they're given, I don't like the extra step. Like, World also had instant gratification with decorations. You get them in the quest, they're identified in the quest. It's not you get them and then you put them in the melding pot and then you hope that you got the one you want. It's immediate. I like immediacy. And yeah, I would definitely be a bigger fan of the Gen 3 charm system if you didn't get most of your charms from mining. When I'm playing a Monster Hunter game, I want all of my rewards that go straight to character power to come from hunting monsters. Which is also why I absolutely hated the relic system in 4U. I refused to use it. Because you don't hunt monsters to get relics. You hunt monsters to make a quest able to give good relics. And then whether you hunt the monster or not, the relics are yours when you go mining. That's not what Monster Hunter is about. So, like, yeah, give me a game where one of the... Preferably charms. Give me a game where charms are random, but you just get a handful after every single hunt, whether you go mining or not. That's what I want. Deadbird relic weapons, in many cases, vastly outperformed non-relic weapons, like, for a lot of different weapon types. Relic armors were basically trash, but relic weapons were the thing that people chased. Alright, this was also a short quest, but that's the only bonus quest you folks get. I'm gonna go do my farming and then end the stream. Ew, just a 4 honey day. I hate 4 honey days. I need more honey. There is never enough honey. Yeah, people who are chasing insect glaive relics, needing to get both the weapon and the bug to be good. Oof. Oof. dead bird. I am a 6 honey type of guy. If there's less than 6 honey in that box, I will always feel a sense of loss, of longing, of dissatisfaction, of being unfulfilled. Because I know that that box can hold 6 honey. Anyway, that's it for this stream. Thanks everyone for joining in to watch and chat and all of that. And I will see you folks on Thursday, where I believe I'm going to play and probably beat Metroid 1. So yeah, see you then, friends.